Picture this. You pour your heart out to someone you trust. Your joys, your dreams, your darkest moments, thinking they've got your back. But what if that smile they flash is hiding something sinister? What if their support is just a mask for jealousy, resentment, or even pure hatred? Welcome to ZenLight 8, where we're pulling back the curtain on the secret haters in your life. In this video, we're exposing 5 shocking signs someone close to you might secretly despise you. Signs so sneaky, you'll wish you'd seen them sooner. Stick around to the end, because spotting these red flags could save you from heartbreak, manipulation, and a knife in the back you never saw coming. Let's dive in. Hit that like button and subscribe to ZenLight 8 for more truth bombs you didn't know you needed. 1. They subtly undermine you. Imagine this, you're buzzing with excitement. Maybe you've just come up with a brilliant idea for a side hustle, landed a small win at work, or even picked out an outfit that makes you feel like $1,000,000. You can't wait to share it with someone you trust, someone you think has your back. You spill the details, expecting a high five, a cheer, or at least a wow, that's awesome. But instead, what do you get? A sly little comment that stops you dead in your tracks. Oh, that's a great idea, but are you sure you can pull it off? Or maybe, hey, you look nice today. Way better than usual. First, it doesn't even hit you. You might brush it off, thinking, they didn't mean it like that. But then it lingers. Something feels off. You walk away from that conversation not feeling lifted up, but quietly questioning yourself. Wait, was that a compliment? Or a dig? Welcome to the world of subtle undermining, the sneakiest, most dangerous weapon a secret hater can wield. Here's the thing. These people don't come at you with a loud "you suck" or a dramatic betrayal that's easy to spot. No. That'd be too obvious, and they're way too clever for that. Instead, they operate in the shadows, planting tiny seeds of doubt with every word they say. It's like they're handing you a bouquet of flowers, but the stems are laced with thorns. You don't notice the pricks at first, but over time, those little jabs start to bleed you dry. They're not trying to knock you out in one punch. They're loosening the ground beneath your feet, hoping you'll stumble and fall all on your own. And the worst part? They'll sit back with that innocent smile, acting like they had nothing to do with it. Let's break this down, because this kind of hidden hatred is so subtle, most people don't even clock it until it's too late. Picture this scenario. You're telling your friend about a new project you're starting. Maybe it's a blog, a podcast, or even a fitness journey. You're pumped, your eyes are sparkling, and you're ready to take on the world. They nod along, maybe even toss you a "that's cool." But then comes the kicker. I mean, it's ambitious. I just don't want you to bite off more than you can chew. Or how about this one? Wow, I didn't expect you to try something like that. Good for you. On the surface, it sounds like they're rooting for you, right? But deep down, your gut's telling you something's wrong. You leave that chat not feeling inspired, but wondering, wait, do they think I'm not good enough? And that, my friends, is exactly what they want. These secret haters don't attack you head-on. They're not going to scream, "I hate you," or throw a tantrum when you succeed. That'd make them the bad guy, and they're way too smart to let their mask slip like that. Instead, they cloak their resentment in these sly, backhanded remarks. Comments that sound like support but feel like a slap. You did great. For someone like you. That's a solid plan, but let's be realistic here. I'm just surprised you made it work. I didn't think you had it in you. Notice the pattern? Every word is carefully crafted to chip away at your confidence, to make you second-guess your worth, your talent, your potential. They're not cheering you on. They're subtly dragging you down, one harmless comment at a time. Why is this so dangerous? Because it's quiet. It's not the in-your-face betrayal you can call out and move on from. It's a slow drip of poison that seeps into your mind without you even realizing it. Think about it. One offhand remark might not faze you. You shrug it off, laugh it away, tell yourself you're overthinking. But then it happens again and again. Oh, you got a promotion? Well, they must have been desperate to fill the spot. That's a cute little business idea. Just don't get your hopes up too high. You're really stepping up your game. Didn't see that coming. Over time, those micro-attacks pile up like bricks, building a wall of doubt around you. You start wondering, maybe I can't do this. Maybe I'm not as smart as I thought. Maybe I don't deserve to dream big. And before you know it, you're holding yourself back. Not because you lack the ability, but because someone convinced you you're not enough. Let me paint another picture for you. Say you've been working hard to get in shape. You've been hitting the gym, eating right, and you're finally seeing results. You show up to meet this so-called friend, feeling proud, maybe even wearing something that shows off your progress. You're expecting a, "Wow, you look amazing." But instead, they hit you with, "Oh, you're looking good today. Way better than you used to." Or maybe, "I'm impressed you stuck with it. I didn't think you'd last this long." At first, you might smile and say thanks, but then it sinks in. Wait, what do they mean than I used to? Did they think I was a total mess before? Did they bet against me? That's the trick with subtle undermining. It's dressed up as praise, but it's really a jab at your core. They're not celebrating your glow-up. They're reminding you of the version of you they wanted to keep down. Here's the twisted truth. These people don't want you to fail outright, that'd be too messy, and they'd risk looking like the villain. What they want is for you to stay small, to stay beneath them, to never outshine their own insecurities. They're not saying, "I don't want you to succeed." That's too honest. Instead, they wrap it in fake concern. "I'm just being realistic. I don't want you to get hurt. I'm only saying this for your own good." But let's call it what it is. They're not looking out for you. They're manipulating you. They're terrified of what happens if you rise too high, if you start believing in yourself, if you leave them in the dust. So they sprinkle these little doubts, hoping you'll trip over them and never notice who set the trap. Have you ever had someone like this in your life? Someone who always finds a way to dim your light, even when they're smiling to your face. Maybe you share a win, like scoring a new client, and they say, "Nice job, but it's probably just luck." Or you tell them about a goal, and they go, "That's great, but don't expect it to last." These aren't friends, they're secret enemies, hiding in plain sight. And the scariest part? You might not even realize how much damage they're doing until you're already doubting every step you take. So how does this play out long-term? Let's say you keep these people around. You keep sharing your dreams, your wins, your ideas. Every time, they hit you with that subtle shade. "Oh, that's bold. Hope it works out. You're doing better than I expected. Good for you." Over months, years, those comments sink into your subconscious. You stop taking risks. You stop betting on yourself. You start playing it safe, not because you want to, but because someone's convinced you that's all you're capable of. And guess what? That's their endgame. They don't have to sabotage you directly, they just nudge you into sabotaging yourself. Genius, right? Evil, but genius. Now let's flip the script. How do you spot this in your life? Pay attention to how you feel after talking to them. Do you leave inspired? Or do you leave questioning yourself? Do their words build you up? Or do they leave a weird aftertaste, like you've been praised and insulted at the same time? Watch for the red flags. Comments that sound supportive but sting a little. "You're smarter than I gave you credit for." That's a big move. Hope you don't crash and burn. Not bad for someone like you. These aren't accidents, they're calculated. They want you to shrink, and they're betting you won't call them out. So what do you do about it? First, recognize it for what it is. Don't let their, "I didn't mean it like that" gaslighting fool you. They know exactly what they're doing. Second, cut them off. You don't need a big showdown, just stop giving them access to your energy. Stop sharing your wins, your plans, your dreams. They don't deserve a front row seat to your life if all they're doing is waiting for you to trip. Third, surround yourself with real ones. People who cheer you on without a hidden agenda, who lift you up without planting doubts. Life's too short for fake support and toxic vibes. Let me ask you this. Have you ever dealt with someone who always seems to downplay your shine? Someone who makes you feel smaller, even when they're just joking or just being honest? Drop a comment below. I want to hear your stories. Let's expose these secret haters together. Because here's the truth. You're too big, too bold, too brilliant to let anyone dim your light with their sneaky little games. They can try to undermine you, but they can't stop you, not unless you let them. So don't. Rise up, shake them off, and keep shining. They'll hate that most of all. 2. They disappear when you need them. Let's set the scene. You've been the rock in someone's life. Picture this. You've stayed up late listening to them sob over a breakup, texting them encouragement when they bombed a job interview, or maybe even dropped everything to help them move when life threw them a curveball. You've been there, no questions asked, no hesitation. You're the friend who shows up, the one they can count on when the chips are down. But then, one day, the tables turn. You're the one who's hurting. Maybe you've lost something big. A job, a relationship, a dream you poured your heart into. You're drowning in stress, your world's upside down, and you need someone to lean on. So you reach out to them. You pick up your phone, send a text, maybe even call, expecting that same loyalty you've always given. And what do you get? Crickets. Silence. A lame, "Oh, I've been so busy lately" excuse, if you're lucky. Suddenly, the person who leaned on you like you were their lifeline is nowhere to be found. Welcome to sign number 2 of a secret hater. They disappear when you need them most. This one cuts deep, doesn't it? Because it's not just about them not showing up. It's about realizing they were never really there for you. They were only around for the good times, the laughs, the easy days when everything's sunshine and rainbows. I call these people fair-weather friends, and trust me, they're more common than you think. They're the ones who light up your phone when they need a favor, a shoulder to cry on, or just someone to hype them up. But the second you're the one in the storm, they're gone faster than you can say, "Where'd you go?" It's like they've got a radar for your happiness. When you're up, they're all in, but when you're down, they're out the door, leaving you to pick up the pieces alone. Let's paint a picture. Say you've been friends with someone for years. You've got memories, late-night chats, inside jokes, maybe even a few wild adventures. You've been their go-to when life got messy. Remember that time they got dumped and you spent hours talking them through it? Or when they lost their job and you proofread their resume, sent them leads, cheered them on until they landed something new. You were there, no matter how busy your own life was, because that's what friends do. But now, here you are, staring at your phone, waiting for a reply that never comes. You're going through it. Maybe your boss just chewed you out, or you're reeling from a personal blow, and you need them. You text, "Hey, can we talk? I'm really struggling." Hours pass. Nothing. Maybe a day later, you get a half-hearted, "Sorry? Been slammed? Hope you're okay. Hope you're okay?" That's it. After everything you've done for them, that's all you get? Here's the gut punch. They're not too busy. They're not caught up in some life or death crisis. They just don't care enough to show up for you. Think about it. Weren't they always quick to call when they needed something? Didn't they find time to vent about their drama, no matter how packed their schedule was? But now that you're the one reaching out, suddenly their calendar's full? That's not a coincidence, that's a choice. And it's a choice that screams louder than words. They were never your friend. They were a user, a leech, someone who stuck around because you made their life better, not because they valued you. This kind of abandonment stings worse than an open insult. Why? Because it's not just about the moment they ghost you. It's about the realization that hits afterward. You're sitting there, scrolling through your messages, replaying every time you showed up for them, and it dawns on you. You've been pouring into a one-sided friendship. You've been giving your energy, your time, your heart to someone who wouldn't even toss you a rope when you're sinking. It's not just that you're struggling. It's that you're struggling alone, and the people you thought had your back are out living their best lives, pretending you don't exist. So what's their deal? Why do they vanish like this? Simple. Fair-weather friends thrive on convenience. They love being in your orbit when you're winning, when you're the fun one, the successful one, the one with something to offer. They'll laugh with you, toast your victories, bask in your glow. But the second you're not useful to them, when you're down, when you need support instead of giving it, they're gone. They don't want the messy version of you. They don't want the tears, the doubts, the late-night calls where you're falling apart. That's too much work, and they didn't sign up for that. They signed up for the good vibes, the easy wins, the Instagram-worthy moments, not the real stuff that tests a friendship. Let's talk red flags. How do you spot these fake friends before they leave you high and dry? They only hit you up when they need something, advice, a favor, a boost. They're all smiles when you're on top, but when you're struggling, they're too busy or just straight up ignore you. They'll act supportive in theory. Oh, let me know if you need anything. But when you actually ask, they're nowhere to be found. They downplay your problems like, you'll be fine, instead of stepping up. And here's a big one. They expect you to drop everything for their drama, but get annoyed if you need a fraction of that energy back. Sound familiar? That's your fair-weather friend, showing their true colors. The pain of this hits different. It's not just the silence. It's the betrayal behind it. You're left wondering, was any of it real? Did they ever care? And the answer's brutal, probably not. They didn't forget to check on you, they chose not to. They didn't miss your call, they dodged it. They're not absent because life got in the way. They're absent because they never saw you as worth the effort. Ouch, right? But here's where you take your power back. How do you deal with these disappearing ex? Step 1. Stop chasing them. If they vanish when you need them, don't waste your breath trying to pull them back. You've already seen who they are, believe it. Step 2. Reevaluate your circle. Who's been there, really there, through the highs and the lows? Who's picked up the phone, shown up at your door, held space for you when you were a mess? Those are your people. Step 3. Let the fakes fade out. You don't need to confront them or beg for their loyalty. Just stop investing in them. Save your energy for the ones who stay when the storm hits, because those are the only ones who deserve your sunshine. Have you ever had a friend pull this vanishing act? Drop a comment, I want to hear it. Because here's the truth. You're too good to be left hanging by someone who only shows up when it suits them. Cut them loose, and watch how light your life feels without their dead weight. 3. They copy you in a toxic way. Now, let's flip to something a little more unsettling. Imagine this, you're sitting down with someone you trust, maybe a close friend, and you open up about something personal. It's a dream you've been chasing, a business idea, a creative project, a new vibe you're bringing to the world. You're excited, vulnerable, sharing this piece of yourself because that's what friends do. They inspire each other, right? They nod, they smile, they say, "That's amazing," and you feel good about it. But then, days or weeks later, something weird happens. You catch them doing exactly what you talked about. That business you mentioned, they're suddenly launching their own. That style you've been rocking, they're mirroring it down to the details. At first you think, coincidence? But then it keeps happening, and you realize, this isn't flattery, it's freaky. Welcome to sign number 3. They copy you in a toxic way. This isn't your average, "Oh, I love your vibe, I'm inspired" situation. No, this is next level, borderline obsessive behavior. These people don't just admire you, they want to be you. But here's the kicker. It's not about growth or mutual inspiration. It's about competition. They're not copying you to level up their own game. They're copying you to outshine you, to steal your spotlight, to make you feel like a rough draft while they strut around as the polished final version. And the worst part? They'll do it all while smiling to your face, acting like your biggest cheerleader. Let's break it down with an example. Say you've been grinding on something unique. Maybe you've started dressing in a bold new way, or you've been tinkering with a side hustle that's finally taking off. You share it with this friend because, friends celebrate each other's wins. They seem impressed. Maybe they even ask questions, dig into the details. You're flattered, thinking they're genuinely interested. But then, bam, a week later they're rocking your exact style down to the accessories. Or they announce their new project, and it's suspiciously close to yours, but they've tweaked it just enough to call it original. You mention it casually, "Hey, that's kind of like what I'm doing," and they laugh it off. "Oh, really? I didn't even notice. Great minds think alike." But deep down you're like, wait, did they just jack my whole thing? This isn't admiration. It's an obsession with a dark twist. They're not inspired by your hustle, they're threatened by it. They see you shining, and instead of finding their own light, they try to snatch yours. You start a podcast? They've got one in the works. You switch up your look? They're suddenly shopping at the same stores. You land a gig? They're out there networking harder, trying to snag something flashier. It's not about being like you, it's about being better than you, and they'll do it all without ever admitting you were the blueprint. Why is this toxic? Because it's a silent competition you didn't sign up for. They're not upfront about it. No, "Hey, Let's see who can do this better. That'd be too honest. Instead, they pretend to support you while secretly plotting to one-up you. They'll copy your ideas, your vibe, your wins, and then act like it was theirs all along. "Oh, I've been thinking about this forever," they'll say, as if you didn't plant the seed. They want the applause, the attention, the success, but they don't want to do the work of carving their own path. They'd rather ride your coattails and then shove you aside when the spotlight swings their way. Spotting this is tricky because it starts subtle. Maybe they mimic your slang, your mannerisms, the way you post online. You think, "Ah, cute, they're picking up my vibe," but then it escalates. You tell them you're launching a photography gig, and next thing you know, they're buying a camera and booking clients. You switch to a minimalist wardrobe, and suddenly they're decluttering their closet too. They don't just copy, they compete. If you get 5 likes on a post, they're chasing 10. If you hit a milestone, they're rushing to top it. And here's the telltale sign: they never give you credit. They won't say, "You inspired me." They'll act like they invented the wheel, hoping everyone forgets where it started. What's driving them? Envy. Pure, burning envy. They see something in you, your creativity, your hustle, your glow, and they can't stand that you've got it and they don't. But instead of building their own thing, they latch onto yours. They think, "If I can do what they're doing, but louder, flashier, better, then I'll win." Win what? Your life, basically. They want your shine without your struggle, your success without your scars. And they'll keep it up as long as you let them, draining your energy while they climb over you. How does this mess with you? At first, it's flattering until it's not. You start feeling paranoid, like you can't share anything without it being hijacked. You hesitate to talk about your wins, your ideas, because you know they'll turn it into their next move. Over time, it makes you shrink. You stop innovating, stop being yourself, because every time you do, they're right there, stealing it. That's their goal, to keep you second-guessing so they can stay ahead. So how do you handle a toxic copycat? Step 1. Stop feeding them. Keep your plans, your dreams, your next steps to yourself. They don't deserve access to your brilliance if they're just going to twist it. Step 2. Keep evolving. Stay 10 steps ahead. Let them scramble to catch up, but they'll never match the real you. Step 3. Distance yourself. You don't need a big blowout, just pull back. Less sharing, less trust, less space in your life. If they're bold enough, call them out. "Hey, I've noticed you're doing a lot of what I'm doing. What's up with that?" Watch them squirm. Most won't admit it, but it'll make them think twice. Ever had someone copy you like this? Drop a comment, let's unpack it. Because here's the deal, your ideas, your style, your essence, that's yours. They can imitate all they want, but they'll never be you. Protect your spark, and let them chase shadows. They'll never catch the real thing. 4. They celebrate your failures. Picture this. You've been pouring your soul into something massive. Maybe it's a job you've been gunning for, a passion project you've lost sleep over, or a relationship you thought was rock solid. You've given it everything: sweat, tears, late nights, the works. But then, it all comes crashing down. The deal falls through, the project flops, the relationship ends in a gut-wrenching mess. You're shattered, sitting there with the pieces of your dreams scattered around you. And in that raw, vulnerable moment, you turn to someone you trust. A friend, someone you've leaned on before. You're expecting a lifeline, "I'm here for you," something to pull you out of the dark. But instead, you get something else. Their words sound right at first. "Oh, that's rough. I'm so sorry." But their vibe? It's off. There's no warmth, no real sadness. Maybe you catch a flicker of a smirk, a glint in their eye they can't quite hide. They say, "Well, I kind of saw this coming," or "At least now you know better." And it stings deeper than the failure itself. Welcome to sign number 4. They celebrate your failures. This one's a dagger to the heart, because it's not just about them not supporting you. It's about them secretly enjoying your pain. These people don't mourn your losses with you. They don't sit in the trenches, holding your hand while you figure out how to climb back up. No, when you fall, it's their moment to shine. They might not jump up and cheer, too obvious, but you'll see it in the cracks of their mask. A subtle smirk when they think you're not looking. A tone that's just a little too chipper for the occasion. A backhanded, "I told you so" wrapped in fake sympathy. They're not sad you're down, they're satisfied. Why? Because your failure makes them feel better about themselves. It's their twisted little victory lap, and they didn't even have to break a sweat to win it. Let's paint a scene. You've been hustling for months on a big goal, say, launching a small business. You've invested time, money, your whole heart, and you've shared every step with this friend. They've nodded along, maybe even tossed you a good luck here and there. But then it tanks. A client bails, the numbers don't add up, and you're left staring at a failure you didn't see coming. You call them up, voice shaking, needing someone to tell you it's not the end of the world. They pick up and you spill it all. Their response? "Oh man, that sucks. But honestly, I wasn't sure it'd work out anyway." Or maybe, "Well, you gave it a shot. Better luck next time." The words sound like comfort, but there's no heart behind them. Then you catch it, that tiny spark in their eyes, that split second where they look a little too pleased. They quickly cover it up, but you saw it. And that's when it hits you. They're not grieving with you, they're gloating. Here's what makes this so insidious. They don't have to do anything to hurt you. Life's already knocked you down, they just sit back and enjoy the show. They don't sabotage you outright, that'd be too risky, too blatant. Instead, they let the world do the dirty work, then swoop in with their crocodile tears and hollow "oh no's." But peel back the layers, and you'll see the truth. Your pain is their power-up. When you fail, they feel taller. When you stumble, they stand prouder. Your loss isn't a tragedy to them. It's proof they were never less than you. It's a sick game of comparison, and your downfall is their winning move. Why do they do this? It's all about insecurity. These secret haters live in a constant tug-of-war with their own self-worth. They want to be close to you, close enough to watch you, to measure themselves against you, but they don't want you to soar too high. If you're winning, it reminds them of what they're not. If you're thriving, it shines a light on their own stagnation. So when you fall, it's a relief. It's validation. See? They think. They're not better than me after all. They don't have the guts to compete with you openly. So they wait for life to trip you up, then bask in the glow of your broken pieces. It's passive-aggressive warfare, and they're masters at it. Let's talk signs. How do you spot this hidden glee? It's in the fake comfort. Words that sound right but feel empty, like they're reading a script. "I feel so bad for you," they say, but their voice is flat. Their eyes don't match. It's in the subtle jabs. "You should have listened to me." Or, "This is why I don't take risks like that," turning your pain into their smug little lesson. It's in the smirk, the spark, the quick flash of joy they can't fully bury. And here's a big one. They perk up after your fall. Suddenly, they're chattier, happier, more energized, like your loss flipped a switch in them. They might dodge real support, changing the subject, cracking jokes, because sitting with your struggle makes them uncomfortable. Why? Because they don't actually care. This hurts on a whole other level. It's not just the failure. It's knowing someone you trusted is quietly cheering it on. You're already down, and they're kicking you with invisible boots, all while pretending to help you up. So how do you handle it? First, stop sharing your lows with them. If they get off on your pain, don't give them the satisfaction. Keep your struggles private, or save them for the people who'll cry with you, not smirk behind your back. Second, test them. Next time you win, watch their reaction. If they're lukewarm or fake happy, they were never in your corner. Third, distance yourself. No big drama, just fade them out. Less access, less trust, less space in your life. Surround yourself with real ones. People who feel your losses like their own, who lift you up without gloating when you're down. Ever caught someone reveling in your rough patch? Drop a comment, let's call it out. Because here's the deal. Your failures don't define you, but they do reveal who's really by your side. Don't let these secret haters steal your comeback. They don't deserve a front row seat to your rise. 5. They give backhanded compliments. Now let's switch gears to something sneakier. Imagine this, you've just crushed it. Maybe you nailed a presentation, hit a fitness milestone, or stepped out in an outfit that's got you feeling unstoppable. You're riding high, proud of yourself, and you run into someone close, a friend, a confidant. You're expecting a "you killed it" or a wow, you're amazing. Because, come on, that's what friends do, right? But instead, they hit you with this, wow, I didn't expect you to pull that off. Or maybe, you look great today, better than I thought you would. They're smiling, the words sound almost nice, but something's weird. You pause, caught off guard, and think, wait, was that a compliment? Or a diss? Welcome to sign number 5. They give backhanded compliments. This is the ninja move of secret haters, a compliment that's not really a compliment. It's a psychological jab, wrapped in a pretty bow, designed to lift you up just enough to drop you back down. I'm so impressed. I didn't think you had it in you. That's awesome. For someone like you, you're smarter than I gave you credit for. At first, you might not even register the sting. You smile, say thanks, move on. But then it sits with you, and you start wondering, hold up, what did they mean by that? Do I usually suck? Am I not supposed to be good at this? That's the magic of a backhanded compliment. It's a stealth attack on your confidence, and they get away with it because it's disguised as praise. Let's break it down. Say you've been grinding at the gym, and you're finally seeing results. You show up to meet this friend, feeling like a champ, maybe flexing a little in your new gear. They look you over and go, wow, you actually look fit. I didn't think you'd stick with it. Or maybe you land a promotion, and they say, congrats, I'm shocked you got it over everyone else. On the surface, it's a good job, but dig deeper, and it's loaded with shade. I didn't think you'd stick with it? Shocked you got it? They're not celebrating you, they're telling you they expected you to fail. And that little twist? It's meant to make you doubt yourself, to steal the joy of your win and replace it with insecurity. Why is this so effective? Because it's a 2-for-1 deal. They get to put you down without looking like the bad guy. If you call them out, they'll flip it. What? I was complimenting you. You're too sensitive. Now you're the one feeling crazy. And while you're busy questioning yourself, was I overreacting? Did I mishear? They've already planted the seed. You're not basking in your success anymore. You're wondering if you deserved it. It's a mind game and they're playing to win. What's behind this? Jealousy, control, and a need to feel superior. They can't handle your shine. It reminds them of their own dimness. So instead of stepping up their game, they dim yours with these sneaky insults. You're good at this, surprisingly. That's a big win for you. They're not praising your effort, they're lowering the bar, reminding you they didn't see you as a threat until now. They want you confident, but not too confident. Small, but not too small. They need you to stay in a box where they can still feel bigger, and these compliments are their way of keeping you there. Spotting this is key. A real compliment feels good, full stop. A backhanded one leaves you confused. Watch for the hidden digs. You're not as bad as I thought. The low expectations. I never pictured you doing this well. The fake kindness. Your voice isn't terrible, I was expecting worse. See the pattern? They're not lifting you up, they're patting you on the head while nudging you down. And they do it because it's easier to break your spirit than build their own. So how do you clap back? You've got options. Call it out. You look good today. Oh, so I don't usually? Watch them stutter. Play dumb. I'm surprised you did that. Really? I'm not. I knew I could. Flip it. You're smarter than I thought. Thanks. You'll catch up someday. Or just ignore it. Own your win and don't let their shade touch you. I didn't expect you to succeed. Cool. I did, worked hard for it. Stay unshakable. They thrive on your doubt, don't give it to them. Ever gotten one of these sneaky compliments? Drop it in the comments, let's expose them. Because here's the truth. Your wins are yours, and no one gets to shrink them with their petty games. Shine bright, they'll just have to deal with it. So there you have it. 5 shocking signs that someone close to you might secretly hate you, lurking behind smiles and fake support. From the subtle digs that chip away at your confidence, to the disappearing acts when you're drowning, to the toxic copycats, the quiet gloaters, and those backhanded compliments that sting more than they shine. These are the wolves in sheep's clothing you need to watch out for. But here's the real takeaway. You don't have to let them win. You've got the power to see through their games, to cut them loose, to protect your energy and rise above their petty traps. This isn't just about spotting the haters. It's about reclaiming your life from the ones who never deserved a place in it. Think about it. How many of these signs hit home for you? Maybe you've got a story. A friend who vanished, a copycat who stole your shine, or someone who couldn't hide their smirk when you stumbled. Drop it in the comments. I want to hear every gritty detail. Let's shine a light on these fake supporters together. Because you're not alone in this. Your struggles, your wins, your journey. They're yours, and no secret hater can take that away unless you let them. So don't. Stand tall, shake them off, and keep pushing forward. They'll hate watching you soar, and that's the sweetest revenge of all. And before I go, I've got to say this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, ZENLIGHT 8 family, for sticking with me to the end. You're the real ones, the ones who show up, who vibe with these truth bombs, who make this channel more than just a voice on a screen. Every like, every comment, every second you spend here means the world to me. If this video opened your eyes or fired you up, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and let's keep this journey going together. You're not just viewers, you're my crew, my inspiration, and I'm so damn grateful for you. Stay aware, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, ZENLIGHT 8, let's keep rising.